Hi, and today we're going to be talking about the breath and how the way that you breathe can and does affect our over sense of well-being. So breathing is the fundamental necessity of life, and with each breath of air that you take in, you gain oxygen. When we breathe out, we get rid of the waste product carbon dioxide. So when we have poor breathing habits, this lessens the flow of these gases to and from the body, making it harder for you to cope with any stressful situation that you may be faced with. And it's also been known, that certain breathing patterns can actually contribute more to your anxieties and panic attacks. It can help deepen your depression, gives you muscle tension, headaches, fatigue. So let's have a quick look at the breath. I'm going to use a diagram here, so if you can see that. So when we breathe in, we take breath in through the nose, and this goes up into the nasal cavity where it is warmed to body temperature. It's humidified and is also partially cleansed. So then if we look further down, we have the diaphragm here, and this is like a sheet of muscle which separates the lungs from the organs of the abdominal cavity. And as this diaphragm actually helps to facilitate your breathing by contracting and relaxing as you're breathing in and out. Your lungs, as we move down, your lungs, the air then sort of comes down through the nasal cavity into the bronchioles, and your lungs are there like little branches of trees. And the bronchial tubes carry the air to little sacs at the end. So see, you can't really sort of see it in the diagram, but it's blown up about here. So these little sacs are like sort of little elastic sacs which they balloon up and expand when air is drawn into the lungs, and they then contract when you breathe out, when the air is released. So the small blood vessels which surround the alveolus, these are called capillaries, and these capillaries receive the oxygen from the alveolus and then is transported to the heart. Just put that down there. So it's transported to the heart, so which is then pumped. The heart then pumps the oxygenated blood all around your body, and is then exchanged, where your oxygenated is exchanged in the blood cells with the carbon dioxide. So this waste product of the carbon dioxide is then carried back to your heart and lungs, where it is then exhaled. This transportation of exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is very vital to sustain life. So if we look at how we breathe, there are actually two patterns of breathing. The first one we call chest or thoracic breathing, which is the shallow breath, where we just use the top part of our lungs. And this type of breathing is quite rapid and irregular, and is very much linked to stress, anxiety, and other forms of emotional stress. This type of breathing, as I said, is in the upper chest. And this shallow breathing or even breath holding, and we've noticed my son, he has autism. I couldn't think what it was then. He has autism, and he's also been diagnosed with altered states of awareness, where it's almost like having a petty mouth fit, where he'll go pretty vacant. But we've noted over the last couple of months that he's actually, when he's having these episodes, he's actually holding his breath. And these sessions or altered states of awareness are very much linked to his own stresses and how he deals with stress and changes within his own life. So the breath holding again is associated with chronic stress, tension, even poor body posture, or even wearing tight clothing. Feelings of pain, not just physical pain, but emotional pain, or long periods of focused attention in which some people just forget to breathe properly. This can lead to feelings of fatigue and depression, because obviously, while the rapid shallow breathing is associated with the stress response and anxiety, it can result in symptoms of lightheadedness, heart palpitations, weakness, even tingling, pins and needles in the hands and feet, or even agitation. And this happens because there is too much carbon dioxide being released and too little oxygen reaching the brain and the outer extremities. And sometimes in extreme cases, this rapid chest breathing can be known as, you probably know it more as hyperventilation, where they get you to breathe into a paper bag to regulate the carbon dioxide oxygen levels within your body. So when we go and look at the second pattern of breathing, and this is what we call abdominal or diaphragmatic breathing. And it's the natural breathing of newborn babies and sleeping adults. And with this type of breathing, the air is drawn down into the lungs as the abdomen expands. The diaphragm then contracts downwards, so it's giving more room. The diaphragm allows more room for the lungs to expand. And this type of breathing is deeper and slower, and it's more controlled, whereas the chest breathing, we tend to do it rapidly in sort of a panicked way of breathing. The diaphragmatic breathing is one type of breathing that we use when we do meditation, or if you've done yoga, they will practice this type of breathing. It's more rhythmic and more relaxing, which allows the whole of the respiratory system to do its job of producing energy from the oxygen which is going around the body, and then removing the waste products. So when you become aware of your own breathing patterns, we can then shift to the abdominal type of breathing, and you start to rebalance that oxygen carbon dioxide level within your own body, which then also helps to normalize the heart rate, which helps to then reduce muscle tension and lowers your anxiety levels, which are present with stress related symptoms or even thoughts. So breathing exercises have been found to be effective in reducing generalized anxiety disorders such as panic attacks, agoraphobia, depression, irritability, headaches and fatigue as such. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to take you through a couple of exercises that we can begin from today to practice and to make part of your everyday life. So if you can just sit comfortably, back straight, but just try and make sure you're as relaxed as you possibly can. And what I'm going to ask you to do first of all is just to place your hand, one on your chest and one on your abdomen, and just be aware of how you are naturally breathing at the moment. Don't try and change the way you're breathing, but just notice whether you're breathing more from your upper chest or whether you're naturally breathing from your abdomen. So give that one a go. And then at the end of the video, you can like sort of comment on below just to let me know which way you're breathing. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I want you to just focus on your breathing, and we're just going to take in a slow deep breath that fills your abdomen. So keep your hands on your tummy and one on your chest so that you can feel it rising and gently lowering as you exhale. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and filling out that tummy, and then out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose and filling out your abdomen. Breathing out through the mouth. And this might be quite hard to carry on breathing, but this might be quite hard to start with, especially if you're used to your shallow breathing. But as you get more into a rhythm, just start to notice whether you, especially in the shoulder area where we do carry a lot of tension, whether you are beginning to relax your shoulders down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now that you've got into a bit of a routine with the deeper breathing, this time we're going to take a little bit deeper. Okay, so what I want you to do first of all is we're going to breathe in, but we're going to fill up our tummy first, and then we're going to notice our lower chest filling up, and then we're going to finally feel our upper chest rising. Okay, so if we take in a deep breath, starting with our tummy, filling in that lower chest, and finally the upper chest, and then exhaling through the mouth, deflating the upper chest first, then the lower chest, and finally the abdomen. And repeat that again in through the nose, filling up the abdomen first, lower chest, and upper chest. Deflate, breathing out through the mouth. We deflate the upper chest, lower chest, and abdomen. Breathing in again, filling up the abdomen first, lower chest, upper chest. Might even help you to close your eyes so that you're really focusing on what you're doing. And exhale, deflating the upper chest, lower chest, and finally the abdomen. Keep practicing this sequence. Abdomen, lower chest, upper chest. Exhale, upper chest, lower chest, abdomen. Inhale, lower abdomen, lower chest, upper abdomen. Release, deflating the upper chest, lower chest, and the abdomen. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just slowly now bring yourself back to the here and now. Brilliant, well done. Again, comment below on how you found that and how, if you felt any relaxation starting to come in. So starting from today, I would like you to just start with 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening, practicing your abdominal breathing. And after a few days, increase this to 10 minutes, and then eventually up to 20 minutes each session, at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. And this is so that at the beginning of the day, we can start off feeling relaxed before the day has started. Even if you get up half an hour, say, before the rest of the family, just take that time out in the beginning of the morning just for you, just to get yourself in that relaxed state of being, because we know how busy our lives are anyway, without additional worries and anxieties and stresses that come along with our everyday life. You can also check in a few times a day, because to begin with, you will find that you probably will slip back into that. If you are a chest breather, you will slip back into that routine of shallow breathing. And if we just take our time, just a few seconds, it only takes a few seconds just to notice which way you're breathing, so that you can pull yourself back and correct it and revert back to the abdominal breathing. And also, if you'll find you're feeling stressed, or you're in a stressful situation, just step back and focus on your breath. And this will help you to take your focus off the stress or the anxiety that you're feeling at that present time, and focus on your breathing. So it gives your mind something else to focus on, rather than that worry or that stress. So if we go on to another exercise, another way of breathing, it is known that we do have a dominant nostril. I don't know whether you've ever heard of it, but when we are breathing, I don't know whether if you can breathe in now, you might feel one or the other side of your nose, when we're breathing in through the nose, one side is more predominant than the other. And this will change every 90 minutes throughout the day. So if your right nostril is more dominant now, then in 90 minutes time your left nostril will become more dominant. And this is another exercise that will help to bring back a good sense of relaxation if you're feeling stressed. It might seem a little bit weird to be doing this one at the to begin with. You might feel a little bit silly, but if you can do it in a space or in a place where you're on your own, and it's really, really good for those that suffer from tension headaches, or even sinusy type headaches. So we're going to start by doing 5 cycles, which then over a few periods of days that you can increase the cycles, and you can incorporate it within your morning and evening breathing. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and your ring finger, either in your left or your right hand, whichever you want to. And one cycle will be, we close over the right nostril with the thumb, breathe up through the left nostril, then we close over and open up the other side and breathe down that nostril. Then we breathe up through the right nostril, close over and down through the left. That is one cycle. Okay, now if you're a bit of a hay fever sufferer like me, you might be a little bit, excuse the termination, but a little bit snotty. So if we start with your thumb, close over your right nostril, or whichever, if you're using your left thumb, the left nostril, and we breathe up through the opposite nostril. So we breathe in, hold it, close over with your ring finger, open up with your thumb and breathe down the right side. Then breathe in through that same nostril, close over, open up the left and breathe out. Breathe in, close, hold, open and breathe out. Breathe in, close, open and breathe out. Close, open. I've done that wrong. Sorry. Breathe in, close, open, breathe out. Breathe in, close, out. Breathe in, close, open and out. Right, we do one more cycle. So we breathe in, hold and close, open and release. Breathe in, close, open and release. Well done. So I do apologise for me going wrong. My mind did wander then. So again, this is another way that if you're feeling stressed or anxious, it's giving yourself something to do. Not just that you're focusing on your breathing, but you're actually giving your hands something to do. So you're having to concentrate on which nostril you're working on. And if your mind wanders like mine did, you'll forget to hold or open or breathe at the wrong nostril. So it's just when we're in a stressed or anxiety way of being or feeling, it's good to help you to give yourself something else to focus on. So as we've said before in this video, that when we're stressed or anxious or depressed, we tend to breathe shallowly, which affects our own well-being because the oxygen is not getting to the parts of the brain or the outer extremities. Our body then becomes more heightened with the carbon dioxide, so it can lead to anxiety, agitation, pins and needles, hyperventilation, and it's because we're not having that oxygen carbon dioxide balance. So one way, if you're feeling these, take control of your breathing. Notice how you're breathing. Go back into that abdominal diaphragmatic breathing that we did. Practice your breathing 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. Add in the alternate nose breathing. And please do practice when you're feeling stress. It will help to bring your focus back into the here and now, and it will take away that feeling of stress. We're giving you coping mechanisms, strategies to help you to cope with your stress and anxieties. And by breathing in the proper way, it will just do this. So I will see you again the next time, and remember to post your comments, or have you any questions, please comment below and I will get straight back to you. Until the next time, have a good evening.